Hello guys, welcome to another video. Like always, this story doesn't belong to me and the link to the original post will be in the description. As being said, let's get into the video. Son of the Sannin, Chapter 7 and Part 7, Desert Winds, or why turning your children into a weapon is not cool. 7 years after the QB attack, are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No! Stop asking that already! Jiraiya yelled in anger between the heat and Naruto's constant chatting. He had swear he would go insane at any moment. Then he noticed something in the distance and narrowed his eyes to see it better. Then he turned to Naruto and said, "Yeah, we are there already. Sunagakure is just behind those dawns." Finally, Naruto threw his hands in the air. The heat was downright observe, observing, and his thirst was becoming nearly unbearable. He wished he had listened to Jiraiya's advice and didn't drink all the water from his canteen the first day they were in the desert. But after two harsh, hellish days wading through an ocean of sand, their journey was already over. After much time and much stalling on the Kazekage's part, Sarutobi finally managed to convince his Sunagakure counterpart to accept the visit of a Konoha diplomat in order to strengthen the relationship between the two villages as to help with his Jinchuriki problem while the intention to help was genuine, or else Sarutobi wouldn't have sent Konoha's best seal master alive as its representative. Sarutobi had other less selfish motive behind such action, namely evacuate the threat said Jinchuriki could pose, as well as the Kazekaga's intention on how he was planning on using him. Jiraiya requested to bring Naruto with him to the mission, believing that having a Jinchuriki who also happened to be a kid of the Suna Jinchuriki's age would help to connect with him. Konoharu Konoharu and Hamura. Koharu and Hamura very vigorously opposed to such things, since not only it would mean taking Naruto out of the village despite not being a ninja, but bringing him into a foreign village. Sarutobi, however, agreed with Jiraiya's reasoning. Besides, if something happened, Naruto had one of the Sannin taking care of him. Tsunade also opposed her husband's idea, but for a different reason. She felt that Naruto was too young to be to do such a journey to another village with all the possible dangers he could face. Besides his losing academy days, Jiraiya spent a whole hour convincing the Slug Princess that he would make sure that Naruto would return from the trip unscratched and that Naruto would work extra hard to make up for his absence at the academy. Naruto was elated when Jiraiya informed him about the trip. He had never been outside Konoha's wall and was dying to see the world outside there. He was amazed by the lush forest of the Land of Fire, which made Naruto wonder why it was called the Land of Fire instead of the Land of Forests, and that such name would only make sense if somebody set those forests on fire. Jiraiya begged Naruto not to try to make their country's name more meaningful and was marveled by the landless of watery landscape and the land of the rivers. But when they reached the land of wind, this place should be called the land of unbearable heat. but fortunately they arrived at the large lift in the middle of the large stone wall, which was the entrance of Sunagakure, flanked by a couple of Sunachunin. After they verified the Toad Sage's identity, they allowed both him and his son access to the village. The hallway that was the rift was completely covered in shadows, and thus had a much cooler temperature, something both Konoha residents gratefully appreciated. After a short walk, they arrived at the village proper. Naruto took some moment to contemplate the village before him. The village was composed almost exclusively by seepage cylinder and conical building made of clay. Jiraiya would explain him later that clay was easy to mold and harden fast in a heated and hardened fast in a heat climate, making construction work easier and faster. Plus, they made house buildings while weaker than brick and concrete building like those of Konoha helped to keep the inside of the state building cool, and there was none of the absurd plant life that was so common on his home village, even if it was the middle of a desert again. Jiraiya would explain him that no plant would live in such place, and thus most plants were kept in greenhouses. They immediately headed towards the Kazekage's estates, a massive spherical building with the kanji of wind inscribed on its front, which was placed in the middle of the village, just like the Hokage Tower in Konoha. Not only it was there, the current Kazekage's worked, but also it doubled as his and his family's residence. Should be chosen to be should he choose to live there. They immediately headed towards the Kazekage Stage, a massive spherical building while Suna looked widely different from Konoha, the atmosphere was rather identical. Carefree kids played in the streets. Traders sold goods. Civilians walked through the streets heading to their usual jobs. Some ninja patrolled state streets while others watched everything from the buildings' roofs. Naruto guessed that deep down most ninja villages were just the same. Kazekage stage, Jiraiya and Naruto were sitting on a couch on a large room. While they waited for the Kazekage to receive Jiraiya, which included the Suna Jonin that, according to the Kazekage to receive Jiraiya, which according to the Suna Jonin that received them at the entrance, it would be soon. So tell me, Naruto, what do you think about Suna? Jiraiya asked, not afraid of a potential talentless respond, since they were alone. It's okay. I guess, but I prefer Konoha. It's really hot in here, and there's no green. Naruto dryly replied. Jiraiya guessed that Naruto wouldn't be very happy there. For an early age, he always had a fondness of plants. He loved to play in their house's garden when he wasn't training, and had a corner when he was growing some plants, and even had a corner when he was growing plants. But then again, it would have been the fact that he grew up in a place with trees so as far as the eye can see, and the constant was rather jarring. Contrast was rather jarring. Uh, have you even been here before? The blonde asked. Yeah, multiple times, but this place has hardly changed from the last time I was here. Well, I am seeing some new power lines But that's it. Jiraiya mentioned, do you know the Kazekage? I am afraid not. I met his predecessors once during the Third War. But that's it. Then the historical disappeared. Weird. Did they think it had something to do with you? Fortunately, no. No. A door opened and another Suna Jonin, a woman in her 20s with purple marking on her cheeks, appeared. Jiraiya-san, Kazukage-sama is waiting for you at his office about time. Is there a place where Naruto can wait while I am with the Kazukage? Yes, Kazukage-sama said that Naruto can spend the time with his children. I will take him with them. Take him to them with the Jonin offered. Good that way Naruto can get close to the Jinchuriki. Jiraiya thought, alright Naruto, this might take some time, so be patient and be nice to the Kage's children. Sure thing, Dad. Naruto nodded as he saw Jiraiya leaving. Please come with me, Naruto-kun, the female Jonin said, extending her hand at him. Okay, Maki, my name is Maki. The female Jonin replied, smiling a bit. Alright, Maki, I am Naruto Uzumaki, but you already know that, right? You are quite a a lively child. I'm sure you will have no problem in making friends with the Kazakage's children. I hope so. Jiraiya entered the Kazakage's office and saw the man himself, Rasa, of the cold sand. The Kazekage already waiting for him, sitting on his desk for a frown on his face. The Sannin put his best smile and sat on the empty chair. Kazekage Dono, it is a pleasure to finally meet you. Jiraiya greeted as he as cordially as possible. The Sannin, however, was glancing on the inside. He was really good at infiltration and information gathering, but diplomatic affairs were so out of his range of talents. He had to measure his words carefully as not to speak an international incident, not to spark an international incident. Konoha already dodged a shuriken with Kumo shuriken with Kumo, but last thing he wants was to unwittingly provoke Suna and made those two village to ally against Konoha. Jiraiya of the Sannin, while I always wanted to meet you, meet a living legend's pleasure isn't the word I would use. We both know you are here. You are here, and nobody but my aunt who are listening. So you might as well dispel with the pleasurement and go towards the matter at hand. As you wish, Kazakage Dono. Jiraiya replied in a natural tone. As the Hokage's later said, I would like to know the reason behind creating a Jinchuriki as well as what do you have planned to do with him. What are you afraid that we might use him against Konoha? Rasa asked, raising an eyebrow. Should I worry about uh, preventing preventing war? We both know that that's not gonna happen. So cut the act, Rasa. Joraya sheepishly assured and immediately cursed inwardly. Not only he had talked to the Kazekage in a disrespectful tone, but addressing him by his first name instead of his title. Judging by Rasa's expression, he didn't take it well. Act? I am not the one who's acting. Jiraiya. Since the end of the war, Suna has been steadily losing clients to Konoha, including the Wind Lord himself. The disappearance of the third Kazekage turned the village into a mess. Defection were a deadly occurrence. Defection were a deadly occurrence. Bandits attacks over our supply caravans, multiplied drastically. And when I made an attempt to recover parts of our lost strength, Konoha forced me to accept an embracery at embassy empathy information about our internal affairs. We may be allies during the last war, but Konoha has done very little for us after it ended. Hey, we aren't having a great time either. Do I need to remind you that the strongest tail beast attacked Konoha not even 10 years ago? If you are trying to make me feel sorry for Konoha, then stop it. You are only embarrassing yourself. Jiraiya responded the urge, repressed the urge to yell at the man's face and breathed heavily. I don't want to do that. The Hokage concerns lies exclusively over the intention with the Jinchuriki, and you're standing with Konoha. This this is the proof I needed that I was doing the right thing. See, before news that we had a Jinchuriki leaked, nobody gave a flip about us. But after what happened, we have also mighty Konoha. Mikili asked us about our intentions. Alright, Jiraiya, you can go back to Konoha and tell this to your Hokage. I will do whatever it takes to make Suna a strong village, and if Konoha or any other village gets in my way, there will be repercussions. That's a bluff. Jinchuriki or not, Suna lacks the ability to wage war against Konoha. Jiraiya boldly stated, "On your own, on our own maybe, but finding allies willing to crush you won't be hard. I heard about what happened with Kumo, you know, and the minor villages aren't too fond of Konoha either." Jiraiya was starting to sweat bullets. This was the kind of stuff he wanted to avert. Fortunately, the meeting wasn't over yet, and the Kazekage didn't hear what the Konoha was willing to offer. You misunderstood me, Kazekage Dono. Konoha doesn't wish to engage in any war with you at the moment. We only want to guarantee that our alliance will still stand. Rasa raised an eyebrow and stared at Jiraiya with an amused look. All right, do you want to hear my demands, or do you have any offering already prepared? That the latter, the latter. I would like you to hear what the Hokage had allowed me to bring with, such as some S-rank secret that nobody outside Konoha knows. The Kazekage leaned forward. You have my attention. First of all, that Konoha also has a Jinchuriki which holds the nine tails. For some years, a kid the same age as your youngest son. So you managed to get something out of that mess, alright. Tell me more about him. He's the blonde kid I brought with me. A defeating, a defensing smile formed, defensive, deafening silence formed Joraiya's statement. Rasa eyes opened so wide the Sannin thought they would fall out of their sockets. So, you snagged the Jinchuriki of the strongest tail beast inside my village without my knowledge? I believe I did that, and is currently in the same building as I am. That is correct, and is in the same room as is in the same room as my own children. Trust me, I guarantee that neither that neither you, your children, or at least any civilian of Suna is in danger. Rasa remained surprisingly calm. Do you know that? Do you know that doing such a thing is not a good way to improve the relationship between our villages, right, Jiraiya? Believe me, I had my reasons to bring that kid here, and that would be to help your son. Excuse me if I don't believe you. Excuse me if I don't believe you, Jiraiya. You can believe what you want. So listen, I know that the kid is having trouble keeping the tail beast under control. That's why the Hokage sent me here instead of somebody with actual diplomatic skills. I can tell that whoever did the seal, he or she have made a rather crappy work. I happen to be one of the world's best seal masters, and if you allow me to take a look at the child, I can create a seal that will contain the demon properly. You can consider it as a gift from Konoha as a token of our goodwill. A tempting offer, Joraya, but how do I know that it's not a trick in order to get close to my Jinchuriki? The fact that you have Konoha's Jinchuriki in your graphs, who also happens to be my adoptive son. Do you think I would dare to risk his life like that? A ninja should be willing to sacrifice anything, including his loved ones, in order to accomplish his goal and destroy his enemies. That's why I had no qualm about turning my kid into a Jinchuriki. That's a grim thought. But then again, I didn't have to bring Naruto here. In fact, I actually took a huge risk doing so, but I did it because I thought it would be very beneficial for both Naruto and your son to meet somebody else with a demon inside. Plus, you can see the difference between a seal that can hardly contain a tailed beast and a seal that can contain it properly. The Kazekage crossed his hands below his chin and started stared at Joraya intently. I need to think about this. You will hear my answer tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, both you and that kid will stay here. I will have somebody prepare a guest room. You are dismissed. Thank you for your time, Kazekage Tono. I am sure that you will decide what's best for everybody, Joraya said as he stood up and left the room. While the meeting between Jiraiya and the Kazekage took place, Maki brought Naruto to a large room with a long table, a couple couches, some drawers, and a few bookshelves. The room's two covenant immediately turned their attention to Naruto the moment he entered the room. One was a tall blonde girl with blue eyes and her hair tied in four pink tails. The other one was a boy with short, spiky brown hair and black eyes, who was shorter than the girl. Naruto-kun. These are Tamari-sama and Kankaro-sama, two of the Kazekage-sama's children. Tamari-sama, Kankaro-sama. This is Naruto, the son of Konoha's emissary. Naruto walked towards the two kids, extended his hand at an intermission space between the two of them, and introduced himself with a well-reached line. Hello, I am Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you. It was the girl Tamari who took his handshake offer and gave him a rather short, strong handshake. Nice to meet you too, Naruto. You are welcome to our village. Tamari cordially greeted. I will leave you alone. If you need me for whatever reason, I will be outside in the hallway. Maki informed before leaving, and awkward silence followed Maki's departure. Naruto thought it was his responsibility to break it, and he would break it good. So, which one of you two is the Jinchuriki? Naruto asked, blissfully obvious to his extreme bluntness. Tamari and Kankuro almost choked upon hearing Naruto's question. How do you know? Kankuro shuddered. My dad told me it was the reason for why we came here, you know. I remember he told me it was his son, so it has to be you, right? Naruto pointed at Kankuro. Actually, the Jinchuriki is our little brother Kara. Tamari clarified. Why is he then Naruto asked, as of lately we barely see him. He spends most of his time with our uncle Yashimaru. He's helping Gaara control his power. With Tamari, what Tamari was saying was an S-rank secret, but given that Naruto knew about Gaara already, he saw no point in keeping the rest of the details hidden. What a pity, I was dying to meet somebody who's like me. Naruto commented, a bit disappointed. Tamari and Kankuro joked even harder this time. Kankuro looked as if he was going to have a heart attack. Don't tell me you are also a monster. There is also a monster sealed inside. What the hell? And what they let you along with you? What the hell? And they left us along with you? Kankaro yelled. Kankaro, Tamari shuddered in a chiding tone. The door slammed open and Maki busted into the room, kunai in hand. I heard a scream. Is everything alright? Yes, Maki-san, everything is fine, except my brother who is still an idiot, Tamari explained as she hit Kankaro on the back of his head. Maki nodded and left the room once again. It's okay. I got that pretty often, but don't worry, the nine-tail wouldn't get out of here anytime soon. The Naruto reassured as he patted his belly. In fact, that is why we are here. Dad says he can make a better seal for Gaara so he won't have any trouble controlling his powers. Both siblings looked even more shocked than before. Really? Tamari asked as her eyes gleamed with a hopeful glint. Can he do that? Naruto nodded and smiled. That would be a gift from heaven. Not only is Gaara getting worse trying to control that monster, but it is also taking a toll on his mind. Kankaro said. Yes, maybe he will be able to sleep. Tamari hoped. Wait, he can't sleep? Naruto asked confused. Tamari shook her head. If he falls asleep, even if it's only for only a moment, the monster will take over his body and go on a murderous spree. Only the monster's power keeps Gaara only the monster's power keeps Gaara barely functional while permanently awake. But like my brother said, it is doing nothing to help his mind. Let's hope your father can convince ours to let him take a look at Gaara's seal and patch him up somehow. Kankaro added, anyways, while we wait, what do you want to do? The blonde girl asked. Naruto's eyes wrenched to the large table where two wooden dolls with a few strings attached to their body parts laid. The Jinchuriki quickly rushed towards the table and grabbed them. Hey Tamari, are these your dolls? Actually, they are Kankaros. Really? You play with dolls? Naruto asked, really holding his laughter. They aren't dolls, they are puppets. Kankaro angrily said as he snatched the puppet from Naruto's hand. They look like dolls to me, only they look more boring. Though they do have a lot of moving parts. I will show you the difference between a doll and a puppet. Kankaro growled while attaching the strings to his fingers. He then made the puppet to stand on on their feet and made them fight each other. See, it requires skills and lots of dedication, but the result speaks for themselves. Wow, that's so cool. Naruto said, his eyes fixed on the puppet. So you are training to be a performer? Actually, I'm training to be a ninja. And so are my siblings. I'm a ninja too, Naruto proudly claimed. But what puppets have to do with being a ninja? Puppetry is a ninja art too, exclusive for Suna. Some of our deadliest ninja from Suna were puppeteers. Naruto, however, continued staring him puzzled. You would understand it better if you saw an actual ninja puppeteer. Their puppets are as big as an adult, and they are full of lethal weapons. That what my brother is using is no different from the tool of a street performer. Tamari commented, "Well, I have to start somewhere, right?" Kankaro prosted. I will be using a combat puppet before you realize it. Konoha Academy, even with the Sharingan, Sasuke had no trouble dodging the even without the Sharingan, Sasuke had no trouble dodging the fist aimed at his face, and with a quick movement, he delivered a lower kick at his opponent's legs, making him fall on his back. Sasuke planted his foot on his defeated foe. Winner Sasuke Uchiha declared the teacher overseeing the fight, a tall, fat, and brown-shouldered man named Daikuki Funio. What the hell is this author's goddamn thing with weird names and hard to pronounce names, man? Anyways, let's get back into the story. But Sasuke's fangirls, which were pretty much all his female classmates minus Hinata, bursted in a series of loud screams as they repeated his name carelessly for those near them. It was almost like a flock of seagulls screaming into their ears. Sasuke himself didn't understand why they were so crazy. Sure, he won, but he was fighting against somebody who tailored his fight a month in advance, telegraphed his attacks a month in advance. Even a blind baby would have won against such an unworthy foe. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I am starting to miss Naruto. Sure, the guy's loud and obnoxious, but at least he made me work for my victories. Sasuke commented, "It has been almost a week since Naruto left, and all of a sudden taijutsu practice became infuriating more boring. None of his opponents lasted more than 10 seconds. Daikuku scratched his head. He was actually hoping the spar would last a bit longer. Doesn't somebody else want to spar against Sasuke?" All the boys averted their gazes. His question was met with silence. Daikoki then turned at Sasuke with an emphatic smile. "I'm sorry then, well, we will have to let other people spar for the time being." I will spar against him," a high-pitched voice said, making everybody gasp in unison. "Hinata, what are you doing?" Sakura asked in disbelief. "You can fight against a boy?" I can't. Technically, we usually don't make boys fight girls, but there's nothing written in stone about that. I mean, you will have to fight against a ninja of the opposite gender sooner or later, so we may as well start now," Daikoki commented. He then turned at Sasuke. "If it's okay with you, pass. I am not going to hit a girl," the Uchiha replied. "What's wrong? Uchiha afraid a girl might kick your ass?" Kiba mocked. "Well, you didn't volunteer to fight me, so I know that you are afraid that I will kick your ass. This girl has more guts than you," Sasuke retorted, making Kiba kneel in anger. "Hinata, why do you want to fight Sasuke? If you want to spar now, I'm sure one of the female classmates will be happy to be your opponent," Daikoku asked. "Naruto-kun always fights Sasuke-san because he's that Sasuke-san is strong, and you only get better by fighting strong opponents. I want to get stronger too." Hinata never felt the need to spar against Sasuke. While she meant what she said, Naruto was usually her usual opponent when they trained together outside of academy hours. However, she didn't have Naruto for the time being. All right, you get your fight. It can be worse than my previous three fights. Sasuke shrugged as he got into his usual fighting stance. Hinata also slided into the gentle peace stance. Sasuke eyed her opponent, the only girl who wasn't a fangirl of his but of Naruto's instead. Though then again, fangirls was an unfair label. Hinata and Naruto had a genuine friendship. They talked, laughed, and were there for each other. The Uchiha also suspected that the Hyuga had a crush on Naruto, but then again, he didn't care much about that stuff. Before the fight began, Hinata activated her Byakugan. Sasuke felt a tinge of jealousy. All the Hyugas awaken their Byakugans when they reach a certain age, yet he still didn't awaken his Sharingan yet. The fact that his brother awakened it when he was younger than Sasuke is now didn't help. Alright then, begin! Daikoku said, making a chop motion with his hand. Sasuke and Hinata dashed towards each other. They clashed in the middle and trampled many punches and kicks. For the first few seconds, they successfully paired all the heads until Sasuke saw an opening and landed a kick on Hyuga's abdomen, pushing her back. Hinata, can you continue? The teacher asked. Hinata nodded in reply. Once again, Hinata dashed towards Sasuke. Sasuke was expecting that, being Hinata, the heiress of a rather powerful clan specialized in taijutsu, she would be a worthy opponent, but nope. Her footwork was sloppy, her attacks were slow, and had some trouble remaining focused. After trading a few blows, Sasuke once again sent her to the ground with a well-placed punch to her gut, and once again Hinata got up. It seemed that the Hyuga heiress lacked in talent, she made up with sheer determination. It seemed that after all the time they sparred together, Naruto was starting to rub off on her. This time, thanks to Sasuke getting confident, Hinata managed to land a strike on Sasuke's shoulder, and he felt it as if it was on fire. This is the gentle fist, the Uchiha thought, winching in pain. This girl is more dangerous than she looks. I will have to finish this quickly. Sasuke went on the defensive, carefully not to let any other palm strike from hell to touch him again. He didn't have to wait much longer for Hinata to reveal an opening and went for the kill. He devised a series of fast punches to her ribs and finished with a powerful kick that sent her once again into the ground. Okay, I think that was enough. Winner Sasuke Uchiha. Daikoku declared. Once again, Sasuke's crowd of fangirls cheered furiously. Sasuke ignored them, walked towards Hinata, and extended his hand. Hinata looked at him for a moment and then took his hand, letting him help her back on her feet. Nice fight. You even managed to hit me once. He meant that as a genuine compliment, despite being so impred as a is impred as a lament. That thank you, Sasuke-san. Hinata replied, I know that I can't win, but if I hit you once at least, it would be something. Well, it was something more than what the rest of my opponents managed to accomplish, Sasuke said, glaring at the crowd besides him. Okay, I think that was enough for you two. Daikoku intervened. Now do the seal of reconciliations. While Naruto was usually very unwilling to do the said seal with Sasuke whenever they sparred, not that Sasuke was any less guilty of such things. Hinata had no problem. After locking their fingers, they returned to the crowd. Okay, who else wants to show their ability? Come on, I need two new volunteers. Hours later, Sasuke was on his way home, hoping that today he could train with Itachi. Things hadn't been good at home recently. Itachi and their parents would often get into heated arguments that Sasuke couldn't fully understand. But the words duty, honor, clan, family, shame were uttered by both parties. After that, Itachi would usually leave the Uchiha compound and not return until sunset. However, it appeared that today wasn't going to be one of those days since Itachi was already waiting for him at the compound's entrance. He was carrying a backpack and had a suitcase beside him. For some reason, Sasuke had a very bad feeling about that image. Sasuke, you are back. I was hoping you'd be here sooner. Itachi greeted his younger brother in a natural tone. Nisan, what are you doing with the suitcase? Are you going somewhere? Sasuke asked, afraid of the possible answers. I'm afraid, yes, Sasuke. I have an arrangement with. I had an argument with father and mother again, the worst one so far, and they just disowned me, and I am no longer Itachi Uchiha, just Itachi. What? Sasuke couldn't believe his brother's word. I just wanted to see you before I left this place. I wanted you to know this from me, then from our parents, and most importantly, I wanted to say goodbye. But you can't leave, Sasuke cried, tears almost forming in his eyes. You are my brother. Itachi kneeled before Sasuke. Listen to me. Sasuke, Uchiha or not, disowned or not, there are two things that nothing will ever change. The fact that you are still my brother and that I love you. But I don't want you to go. Sasuke cried again. I know you don't want to. Being away from you is most painful part of this mess. But father and mother wouldn't want me being a part of the clan anymore, and honestly, I can't live under the same roof as them either. But you can't leave, Sasuke reiterated. Let's go and talk with father and mother. I'm sure that whatever happened, we can fix it. Itachi smiled sweetly at his little brother. My little brother, you are still so innocent. Unfortunately, the reason for my banishment is way too complex for you to understand yet. But what are you going to do now? I already rented an apartment. I will bring you there so you can see it once I am settled. Now you have to be strong, Sasuke. Keep working hard on being a ninja like you have done so far. Make me feel proud of you, proud of calling you my brother. Sasuke didn't have anything. He just stayed there crying. Itachi then pulled him back into a hug. The Uchiha the Uchiha prodigy then stood up, grabbed his luggage, and left the place that he had once called home for all his life. After watching his brother disappear, Sasuke spent some more minutes there, motionless. Then he returned to his house. He didn't greet his parents just like he didn't greet his parents like he always did. He didn't even deemed for examination as for why they had kicked out Itachi from the clan. He merely went to his room and locked himself there. He dropped on his bed and cried his eyes out until he ran out of tears and finally fell asleep. Ka- Kazekage said. Next morning, shortly after Jiraiya and Naruto woke up, Maki the Suna Jonin entered the guest room they had slept in order to inform them that the Kazekage had invited them to have breakfast with him and his family. He also informed that Gara would be there. Alright, that's good, Jiraiya said, confident that he would get uh, he started to get it dressed. Why is that good? That Naruto asked. The Kazekage is rather protective of Kara, given that he wasn't with his sibling and was a person and has a personal caretaker. The fact that he is willing to have Kara present means that he trusts us to some degrees, and maybe he will accept my offer of fixing his field if everything goes as planned. Not only we will help that poor kid, but we will secure an alliance with Sunagakure. Meanwhile, in the state's dining room, Garasa and his two elder children were sitting on a large rectangular table waiting for their guest and remaining family to join them. So, Dad, are you going to let Naruto's father fix Gaara's steel? Tamari asked with hopeful eyes. I'm not confident with the idea, but it appears to be the best solution so far. Gaara has a lot of trouble controlling the demon. If this Naruto you talk about is proof of the man's sealing ability. By the way, are you sure he was a Jinchuriki? Rasa asked. He showed us his seal. It appeared to be the real thing. Only Jinchurikis have stuff like that. Kankaro commented. Well, we will learn the trust soon. We will learn the truth. We will learn the truth soon. Rasa said. The room's door opened, revealing Gara and Joraya and Naruto escorted by Maki. After being thanked, the Suna Jonin left. So what's for dinner? Because I am so hungry. Do you guys have ramen here? Naruto asked excitedly. Who the hell eats ramen for breakfast? Kankuro asked in disgust. You will have to excuse Naruto. He gets rather out of control with an empty stomach, Jiraiya said, laughing nervously as he and Naruto took a seat. Jiraiya, these are Tamari and Kankuro, my oldest children. Rasa made motion to the two kids at his side and he fixed his eyes on Naruto, and I believe that this is the Jinchuriki, right? Your son Naruto, yup, that's me. Remember that name, because when the old man retires, I will be the next Hokage. Naruto proudly claimed. Rasa couldn't help but chuckle. The kid had some big ambition, too big, some might say. Before Naruto could reply, the door opened again, and a red-haired child entered the room, followed by an adult. The child, who appeared to be Naruto's age, had short, blood-red hair and black rings around his blue eyes. The adult, the adult, both Naruto, both the adults both Jiraiya and Naruto guessed it was Gaara's caretaker, had shoulder-length, sandy blonde hair and purple eyes. Ah, we are all finally here, Rasa mentioned. Sorry for the tardiness, Kazukage-sama, the adult said as we and Gaara walked towards the table. It's okay, Yashimaru. I know that taking care of Gaara is not an easy job. Fortunately, one of our guests might make that task easier, or so he says. Why is that woman named why is that woman named Yashimaru? Isn't that a male name? And who is this woman, by the way? Didn't you guys say that your uncle was taking care of Gaara? Naruto asked. Tamari and Kankuro could barely repress their laughing, while Rasa glared at him annoyed. Yashimaru merely smiled. I have a male name because I'm a man. And yes, I'm Gaara's uncle. But yes, my looks makes other mistake me for a woman. It happened before. What? You're a guy? Naruto shouted in shock. Then he turned at Tamari. Wait a minute. You are a girl, right? Of course I am. Don't I look like one? Tamari harshly replied, verbally offended. Well, so does this guy. Naruto protested, making Kankaro to laugh even harder. Jiraiya face from Naruto was the nightmare of every diplomat. Fortunately for them, neither Rasa nor Yashimaru were taking his antics seriously. Gaara, Rasa said, fixing his eyes on his youngest son. These are Jiraiya and Naruto. They have come from Konoha to meet you. Gaara looked at Jiraiya with impressive eyes and then looked at Naruto. I see, was all what he said. Gaara, do you notice something special about this kid? Rasmus asked and waited expressionlessly at his expectingly at his son's response. Gara prematurely walked to Naruto and intercepted him, inspected him. So far, there was nothing remarkable about that boy except for how loud and obnoxiously cheerful he was, and then he felt a shiver. Father, there's something inside this kid. Something mother doesn't like. Mother wants to kill this child. Gara grimly commented. The blonde almost jumped out of his chair. Hey, why the hell did you do that? Hey, what the hell did I do to your mother? Naruto protested. So it is true, your son is a Jinchuriki, Rasa concluded, mildly fascinated. Yet he looks so normal. Of course I am normal. I might have a demon inside of me, but that doesn't change who I am. I already told you that Naruto is different between I told you that Naruto is the difference between a good seal and a sloppy one. Jiraiya interjected. Can he access the demon's power? Rasa asked again. Yes, though I am not going to teach. I am not going to teach Naruto how to use it until he is older. A fool's decision for a Jinchuriki to reach his potential. They should be trained to control their demon as soon as possible. They should be trained to control their demon as soon as possible, Rasha replied. He still struggles to control his own chakra, so I don't want him to take an unnecessary risk and put him in danger. Whatever. Rasa dismissed with a wave of his hand. So if you fix Gara still Gara will have access to a demon's power without losing control, right? Exactly. If that's the case, then you have my permission to do it. Excellent. Then this is all what I need to start the process. First, a safe room within with first first a safe room to work in. Then many hours later, the process was hard and exhausting, most because a shield of sand would often appear at random times, interfering with the seal's process, a byproduct of the tailed beast. Joraya had guessed, though Gara says that according to his uncle, it was his mother's spirit protecting him. On top of that, he had to work while two Suna Jonins watched him instantly. Jiraiya had demanded the two ninjas to leave, but they weren't going to leave the Kazekage's when the village's Jinchuriki along with a foreign ninja. After much work, Jiraiya had replenished the four symbols seals that gave the nine tails depicted the four symbol seal that gave the nine-tailed prison inside Naruto on Gaara, and he removed the nine tails were prisoned inside Naruto on Gaara, and he removed the Shravi seal that could barely contain the tail beast. Both of them exited the room, and the Asuna Chunin escorted both of them towards the room where Rasa, his children, Yashimaru, and Naruto were waiting for them. The process is finished. It has been a success, Jiraiya announced, smiling. Gaara, however, remained impassive. Great, I know you could do it, Dad. Naruto cheered. Those are some good news indeed, Yashimaru commented, smiling. The Kazekage took a step forward. Gaara, how do you feel? I can't hear mother anymore, but other than that, I feel good. Gaara answered. I see. Let's do some test and see if Jiraiya's handiwork is as good as he claims to be. Okay? Rasa asked. Gaara, lie on this couch. I will use a genjutsu to make you sleep. Genjutsu to make you sleep. But you told me that I could never sleep. Gaara calmly replied, I know, but if Jiraiya still work as intended, you should be able to. Rasa explained, motioning to the couch. Gaara nodded and did as his father asked. Rasa casted the genjutsu and Gaara fell asleep. Nothing happened. minutes pass, nothing happened. 10 minutes pass, nothing happened. It is amazing. Gara is sleeping and the demon isn't taking over. Joraya, you are incredible. Tamari is gasped, completely elated. Lighted. I never get tired of hearing that. Joraya replied with a foxy grin. Your work is indeed worth its praise. Joraya Rasa considered, though I still want to do one more test. Do all the tests you want. The result won't vary. Joraya said confident. Rasa rocked Gara until he woke up. Father, I was asleep. Did something happen? Gara asked a bit worried. Nothing. The seal worked, but I want you to do one more thing for me. Go to the door, please. Rasa intended. Yeah, instructed. The Gara nodded and did as he was told. Once there, he turned towards his father. I am on the door. What should I do? Gara was interrupted when he saw his father toss several kunais at him. The red-haired kid yelped and instantly raised his arms in self-defense. Fortunately for him, a wall of sand formed between him and the bladed weapon, protecting him from any harm. Gara was palm with shock, was plain with shock. Rasa seemed pleased. Everybody else was dumbfounded. What the hell? Naruto asked almost in whisper. Good, he still has the stand. You are good on your word, Jiraiya, Rasa said, satisfied. You threw a kunai at your own son's face, Jiraiya whispered, shocked. His shock then turned into anger. You throw a kunai at your own son's face? What the hell is wrong with you? I intended to check if Gara had it still access at the demon's power. Rasa replied his voice was completely deprived of regrets. And what if that wasn't the case? You could have killed him. But I didn't. Stop fighting over that already. It belongs to the past. To the past? It happened just now. Rasa decided to ignore Joraiya's proctor. The seal worked as you promised, and in the name of my village, I thank you for that. You can now go back to your village and tell your Hokage that he has nothing to fear. Suna and Konoha will remain allies for the foreseeable future. Jiraiya glared at the Kazekage and muttered a curse under his breath. Naruto, go and pack your stuff. We will leave tomorrow morning. What so soon? But we have only been here 2 days, and I barely got to know Kara. Naruto, we came here to do a job, and say job is done. There is nothing left for us to, so we must return. Besides, I promised both the Hokage and your mother that we will be back as soon as possible. Okay. Naruto said dejected. Once again, Jiraiya and Naruto were invited to have dinner with the Kazekage and his family. Jiraiya declined the invitation but encouraged Naruto to go and so he could spend at least some more time with the Kazekage's children, especially Kara. The Kazekage finished his dinner quickly and left the dining room, claiming he still had some things to do, leaving the kids alone under the watch of a couple of Suna Jonin. Tell your father that I thank him for what he did for me. It is good to know that I won't hurt people unwillingly again. Gara spoke up. Yeah, I will. Naruto replied as he stuffed his mouth with food. You are welcome. By the way, nice. You are like me. Those people treat. Yeah, I will Naruto replied as he stuffed food in. You are welcome. By the way, nice. You are like me. Does people treat you differently? Gara asked. Differently. Oh, I think that you mean if they act as if I'm going to go insane and try to kill them or something. The blonde boy asked, and Gara nodded. Sadly, yes. Do people in Suna treat you like that? Yes. What? What? But you like the but what? But you are like the son of the Kazekage. They should treat you with some respect. Sure, Naruto was also the son of the Hokage, but in his case, very few people knew that, and it was a S-rank, a S-class secret. Gara predict was parentage was public knowledge. Actually, it doesn't matter much. They can only see the potential danger he represents. Though I can blame them. Even given there has been quite a few incidents when Gara lost control of the monster. Tamari commented, "Good thing you and your dad came here. Now maybe we can convince the people that Gara won't harm them anymore." Konkoro added, well, I don't think their opinion will change much. If this village is anything like mine, they will continue avoiding Gara like he has the plague. That's what they do to me at least. Naruto motioned a bit sad. Gaara looked thoughtfully. I see then. How do you cope with it? Truth be told, sometimes I want to yell at them to make them realize that they have nothing to fear from me. That whatever happened in Konoha 7 years ago won't happen again. Naruto explained bitternessly, lacking through his word. Then he smiled, but not everybody is like that. I have my mom and dad, and Shizune Ni-chan, and Hagan Chan and Kaida-chan and Hinata and all. As long as I have them, I don't care what other people think. Then should I stop trying to get everybody else to acknowledge me? The redhead asked. What? No, of course not. You deserve to be respected. It's just don't feel too bad if they don't do it. If you ever feel down, you should go to the people you like. Your dad is kind of an a-hole. And Naruto blurted, then he gasped upon realizing what he said, turned towards Kankaro and Tamari and smiled peacefully. No offense. No, none taken, Kankaro replied. Tamari just nodded. But you have your aunt, I mean uncle, and your brother and sisters, they are pretty cool. And I am sure they will help you deal with this crap. Naruto mentioned at Kankaro and Tamari. Both of them smiled sweetly. Yes, I mean we don't see each other the other much, but that's going to change soon, Kankaro declared. And if our father has a problem with that, well, we will have to deal with it, Tamari added. Thank you to the both of you. It means a lot to me, Gara said, and Naruto smiled at him. By the way, Gara, what's all the talk about your mother? I thought that she died when you were born. Uncle said that the sand that protects me from harm is the spirit of my mother. Sometimes I hear voice in my head urging me to push through who wronged me. But since your father reinforced my seal, I can't hear her anymore. Naruto remembered a conversation he had with his parents when he was 4. They told him that if he ever heard a voice inside his head, he should tell them immediately. They didn't elaborate any further, leaving the blond boy rather confused. It became much clearer once he learned the truth about the 9-tailed being sealed inside him. Actually, that's not your mother, but the monster they sealed inside you. Oh, Gara looked dejected. But that doesn't mean that your mother isn't with you. My parents tell me that since my birth parents died to protect me, their spirit will be always watching over me, protecting me in mysterious ways. I am sure your mother will protect you and your siblings as well. Naruto quickly added, that's a comforting thought. I never thought that my real mother would want me to harm others. Of course not. People like us exist to protect of others from these monsters, and that's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be the Hokage, so everyone will know that I am protecting my village. That sounds nice. Maybe I should become the Kazekage too. And you will be the Kazekage best, and you will be the best Kazekage there is, and we will be there to support you, little brother. Tamari added, and Kankara nodded. The four kids continued talking and laughing until it was time for all of them to go to bed. During the trip back to Konoha, Naruto went and would tell Jiraiya how much fun he had during the time he spent with the Sand siblings, as he nicknamed them. The moment Jiraiya knew that the alliance between Konoha and would last for many decades, but it would be thanks to Naruto's unwitting effort. Konoha Itachi, formerly known as Itachi, formerly known as Uchiha, studied his new home, a three-room apartment consisting of a bedroom, a small kitchen, and a bathroom. It was a huge step down from his rather cozy home in the Uchiha compound, but it was enough for him due to having a few personal belongings. He took almost no time to settle in. While Itachi had done a merit of B and A rank mission, for the former Uchiha was penniless. When you are a part of a big clan, all the money from your mission goes to the clan fund. The clan head or a designed treasurer would manage the funds and use it to cover the clan's expenses such as food, clothes, weapons, water, and electricity. Adults clansmen had a small allowance that they would spend however they pleased. Most of them used their allowance to buy things for their children. Naturally, Itachi didn't get any money from the said fund, so he had to ask for a small loan to the Konoha bank. Fortunately, his reputation as a young ninja prodigy was enough to guarantee for the bank. He had used that money to buy food, some clothes, a stock of weapons, and to pay the first month of the rent. The loaned money would run out soon, and the bank would demand the money back just as soon. So he needed to do well-paid missions so as soon as possible. Fortunately, the third would have no problem with it. Lying on his bed, Itachi would who couldn't help but wonder if he did the right thing. Maybe he should have tried a bit harder to convince his parents to drop the hostility with the Konoha higher ups. Maybe he should have become an Anbu and use his position as a mediator. His exertion beating him traveling thought, and disowned Uchiha soon fell asleep, unable to shake the thought that something terrible was going to happen soon. But yeah, that's all for this video. If you know we're notified for future parts and other fanfiction reading, then the best way is by subscribing. I hope to see you in the next one. Oh yeah, don't forget to join my Discord server also. Bye.